Children, now see, we have one more life cycle of a bean plant. See, the first stage, the seeds are scattered, ready to grow. So, this is the seeds are scattered. The seeds are scattered, ready to grow. The seeds are scattered, ready to grow. Seeds absorb water here. After absorbing water and minerals, the root pushes the seed coat. See, this is the root, it is pushing the seed coat, and this is the sun. And this, after receiving the nutrients, air, sunlight, the seedling, the new plant grows out of the ground. This is the seedling, and these leaves makes food for the plant. See, these are the leaves, makes food for the plant. And here, stem and its leaves grow towards sunlight. Stem and its leaves, okay, what happens here? Grow towards sunlight, and finally the flowers are making the seeds. See, children, if you start the life cycle with here, the leaves makes the food, the stem and the leaves grows towards the sunlight, and these are the flowers makes the seeds. Now the seeds are scattered here. The seeds are scattered. These seeds will receive absorbs the water and give rise to a here see seedling, and the root pushes the seed coat, and after receiving the sunlight, the nutrients, the seedling, the baby plant grows out of the ground and gives rise to matured plant. So, plant, leaves, flowers, seed, and a seed coat here it is pushed, baby plant, again plant. See the life cycle, it is repeated like this. It is repeated like this life cycle of a bean plant, children. Life cycle of bean plant. To live and survive, we need plants. Yes, we need plants to live and survive. Food is a basic need to everyone. Why? Because without food, we can't live, animals can't live, no organism can live. Okay. So here, next one, we see in our surroundings very big, small and weak trees. In our surroundings, we see very big trees, very small trees and weak trees. Plants are living organisms. They are the only living things which can produce food with the help of sunlight, air and water. This process is called photosynthesis, and they have a thick and hard stem. The plants have thick and hard stem, which is called as trunk, children, which is called as trunk. Plants gives us fruits, nuts and vegetables. Once again I repeat, to live and survive. So in order to live and survive, we require food, or we need plants. Okay. Food is a basic need to everyone. Everyone needs food. We see in our surroundings very big plants, trees, small and weak plants. These are living organisms. They are the only living things, children, which can produce food with the help of sunlight, air and water. They have a thick and hard stem, which is called as trunk, children, which is called as trunk. What the plants gives us? Plants gives us fruits, nuts and vegetable. Now let's study about the parts of the plant. What are the parts of the plant, children? Root, stem, leaves, flowers. All these are the parts of a flower, parts of a plant. Now let's see each one in detail about the functions. Okay. Children, now let's see the parts of a plant and their functions. Children, before starting this concept, I would like to ask one question. Where the roots are present for the plant? Is it above the ground or below the ground? Yes, they are present below the ground, children. Stem is present above the ground, roots are present below the ground. They are present in the soil, children. Roots are present in the soil. Then what they will do? Why the roots are very important for the plant? Why they are very, very important? What they will do? What duties they will do? Roots of a plant grow in the ground. Roots of a plant grow in the ground and are responsible for pulling both water and minerals. Why? Because the water in the form of rain, it will go into the ground, or which will pour into the plant also goes into the ground. So the water and the minerals are also dissolved in water only, children. Plant can't take the minerals directly, in dissolved form only they will take. Okay. So roots pull the water and minerals from the ground and give to the above parts. Second one, next one, they expand in the ground to increase the surface area. They expand in the ground to increase. So what the roots will do, children, they expand in the ground, okay, to increase the surface area for absorption. Absorption means taking in, okay. So in the ground they will expand and absorb the water and minerals. Next one, the plant is fixed into the soil, into the ground through roots only. That is called as anchoring. They anchor the plant into the ground. They fix the plant into the ground for stability. See, plants can't move from one place to another place. They are fixed. They are fixed means, yes, the roots are there. The roots help in anchoring the plant to fix in a proper place. Two main types of roots are there, children. One is, yes, there are mainly two types of roots. One is according to the origin of development and branching pattern. So how they will develop and how the branches will grow according to the origin of the development and branching pattern. Two main types of roots are there. One is fibrous root system, second one is tap root system. So once again I repeat the functions of the root. Here see, children, roots are present down the ground, and the roots of a plant grow in the ground are responsible for pulling water and minerals. These roots expand in the ground to increase the surface area of the water can be absorbed more if the roots are expanded. And roots help the plant to fix in that proper place, children. The plant get fixed in the proper place because of the root only. And here see, there are mainly two types of roots according to the origin of development and branching pattern. What are they? Fibrous root system and tap root system. Okay. Children, now see the roots. I told you already, depending on the here, according to the origin of development and branching pattern. See here, the branching pattern in fibrous root system. First one is fibrous root system. A cluster of slender fiber-like roots arise from the base of the radicle and plumule. See, these are the roots, children. A cluster like slender and fiber-like roots which arise from the radicle. Radicle is this one, children, in the seed. This is the radicle and this is the plumule, which constitute the fibrous root system. That means these are the roots, the cluster-like, and cluster means it's a group of slender fiber-like roots. Okay. These are spread in the soil. Each tip is covered with root hairs. Okay, each tip is covered with root hairs. So here the best example is maize, grass, wheat. See, children, one difference is there between fibrous root system and tap root system. What is the difference means? There is no main root here. The roots are spreaded like cluster of slender and fiber like roots. That is the main difference. Once again I tell. So fibrous root system is a cluster of, it's a group of slender fiber like roots arise from the base of the radicle, and plumule, which constitute, that means which group together to form fibrous root system. These are spread in the soil and each tip is covered with root hairs. Example is maize, grass, wheat. In these three, the fibrous root system is present, children. Okay. Children, now see the second type of root system, which is called as tap root system. This type of root system develops from the radicle. Radicle give rise to root system. As I told you about the radicle also. If you will observe the seed here, see, children, if you will observe the seed, see, this is the plumule, and one more thing, yes, this is the radicle, children. This radicle give rise to root system, which give rise to primary root So this is primary root, children. This primary root will be giving, these are the lateral roots, these are the lateral roots, and this is primary root, whereas this primary root is absent in fibrous root system. In fibrous root system, the slender and fiber like roots arise, where here mainly the main root, primary root is present. This makes the difference. The primary root is present in taproot system, whereas this is absent in fibrous root system. Taproot makes a plant hard to pull. If you want to pull the taproot plants, it's very hard to pull. Why? Because they reach under the ground, far, very far under the ground. Okay, and the best example is gram, China rose, etc. So here once again I repeat, taproot develops from the radicle and continues as the primary root, which gives of the side roots which are called as lateral roots. Taproots makes the, if you want children, if you pull the plant, it's very hard to pull. Why? Because these will reach, okay, here see, this will reach the ground, since they reach far under the ground for water. They'll reach far underground, for water, and it is very difficult to pull out also. The main difference between the taproot and fibrous root is, here the primary root is present, there the primary root is absent. So there in fibrous root, fiber like roots will come, here lateral roots and primary root is present. Example is gram, China rose, etc. In that the example is maize, grass, wheat, etc. So here the main difference is, what is the main difference? Yes, the primary root and the lateral roots are present in taproot system. They are absent in fibrous root system. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, children. Take page number 60. Yeah, children, yesterday we have learnt about the root system, that is fibrous and taproot system. Today we are going to learn the very important concept, that is stem, children. Children, you know that root, stem and leaf, these are the three main parts of a plant. Okay. So the plant stem transport the nutrients and minerals through the plant up to the leaves. So children, you see, we will consider this is the stem, and these are the roots. Okay, these are the different branches. These are the different branches. So these are the leaves. So this is also one of the leaves here, see, children. So this is the ground, these are the roots, and this is the stem, and this is leaf. Children, if you clearly observe, the roots are lying under the ground, and this is the stem, and these are the branches with leaves. Here the roots absorb the water and minerals which supplies to the plant stem, and this stem in turn supplies to the leaves, which even on the top also. Okay. So the plant stem transport nutrient and minerals through the plant up to the leaves. The leaves are the location for photosynthesis. See, children, the leaves is the location. This is the location of Okay, the leaf is the location for photosynthesis. The leaf is the location for photosynthesis, children. That means this leaf will prepare its own food material. The leaf will prepare the own food material by the plant prepare its own food material by themselves by a process called as photosynthesis. Children, let's see the photosynthesis. It is a process. Photosynthesis is a process of food preparation. It is a process of food preparation by the plants. After photosynthesis occurs, the stem is responsible for carrying the food through the rest of the plant. Yes, children. So here see, the stem, in the first step we learned that stem transport the water and minerals to the leaves from the roots, and leaves are the sites for the food preparation, that is photosynthesis, and this food is transported to the entire plant with the help of the stem only, with the help of the stem. That means stem carries the water and minerals from the roots to the entire plant, to the leaves, and stem also sends or transport the food material from the leaves to the entire plant. Stem grows upwards, allowing leaves at the bottom of the plant to reach sunlight for food production. See, children, stem grows upwards, allowing leaves at the bottom of the plant. So this stem grows upwards. So this is upwards, children. The stem grows upwards. It allows the leaves, to reach sunlight for food production. The stem bears the branches. Stem bears the branches. Stem bears branches, leaves, buds, flowers, and fruits. See, children, stem bears branches, leaves, buds, flowers, and fruits. So once again I repeat, plant stems transport nutrients and nutrients and minerals, even water also, from the root to the leaf, and stem also transport, as the leaves are the location for photosynthesis. What this stem will do? It will transport the food to the remaining parts of the plant. And next one, stem grows upwards, allowing leaves at the bottom of the plant to reach the sunlight for food production. Next one, stem bears branches, leaves, buds, flowers, fruits. Next one, the stems of some trees are very hard, strong, and woody. The stems of some trees are very hard, strong, and woody. So here mainly 4 points, children, you keep in mind. First one, stem transports the minerals and nutrients from the roots to the leaves. Next one, leaves are the sites for the location of photosynthesis. Leaves are the sites for photosynthesis or location for photosynthesis. And after the food preparation in the leaves, this food is supplied to the remaining parts of the plant through the stem. Third one, this stem allows the leaves to expose to the sunlight for food preparation. Stem bears branches, leaves, buds, flowers, and fruits. So this is about the stem. And just now I told you that the stems of some trees are very hard, children, and very strong and woody. For example, coconut and neem trees. You see, children, coconut and neem trees are very hard. If you will touch the stem also, that is very woody and very hard. And next one, it keeps the tree upright. The stem keeps the tree upright. The stem of some plants like money plant. See, there are two types of stems. One is very woody, very strong, and very hard. Example is coconut and neem. Some plants have weak stems, like very soft and weak, like money plant. Children, do you know money plant? Yes. This plant will be grown in the houses. Money plant stem is very soft and weak. Very soft and weak, children. Okay. So once again I repeat. Stems are of two types. First type is the stem is very hard, very strong and woody. Example is coconut and neem. Some of the plants have very weak and very soft stems. Example is money plant. Now let's go for the functions of the stem. Okay.